Hey everybody, welcome to what I guess I will call Season 2 of the Spotter's Guide. So new map, I figured new season. That was a comment posted on my last video where I started a new map, and I figured it sounded pretty good. I'm just going to do it full force, and I'm also changing where I'm playing a little bit. This is actually the SMP server that I play on, and it's fairly stable. The map is a seed that I particularly like, and so far has been fairly guarded by me, as I haven't really given it out to anybody. But as is in line with the spirit of this guide, it will be part of the descriptions, so everybody will have a chance to play in this particular seed if it suits their mood. So what I wanted to do is just kind of give a little bit of a tour, because clearly this is not a day one. You can see an entire house over that way, and there's another one here. I have some construction going on in that direction. I have all of this construction here. So I just figured I'd give a little tour of what's done. As this is currently my base, I have some guard dogs, a couple of fire pits that I was using for cooking food and such. My bed, which I can let the night go a little bit longer. Lots of loot and such. Gathered some cassiterite from a deposit in that direction, where you can see the medium cassiterite as the little waypoint there. Found a neat building location over there, and we've marked a rock salt quarry, because that's the ore that we've decided to use for our roadways here. Just it had a very nice contrast between the little cobbles and the lines in the middle. So over here I have a couple of fire pits. The one on the right is more complete. It has the complete set of basalt, and you can just hop down inside. I just like the black basalt bricks here, as it just kind of adds to the whole fire pit thing. There's the dirt block, that's the cap. Let me get the beef out of my hand there. Oh, let me carry something neat looking here. There we go. So, got the dirt block as the cap, and I do have some more basalt, so I'll actually be going and I'll be replacing this to make these two things match. They share a wall in the center here. If I dug that down, I can actually dig that down. There's basalt in the middle as well. Oh, and of course, I cannot replace my divot here. So everything's pretty much the same. Since this is an SMP mod, I've had to forego Simply Horses for a while. I'm looking forward to when I'll be able to install that again, as are a lot of the people on the server. We're really looking forward to adding that into the mix here for both travel and resource transportation and such like that. But so, from the pits over there, this is my staircase, which will eventually either be done in slabs so I can run up them, or just staircases so I can at least get up them. I have, for my defense units, is I just build the large wall, and this is actually just, I take some dirt and just flush this off a little bit so that nothing can get up there. I had originally left the blocks here and over there where just they matched the stairs, and it was actually able for allowing things to climb up there, and it was very annoying. But this place is fairly well lit. There's a little bit of a monster pit here because things love spawning in this huge ravine that goes through all this schist. I have a staircase up here that I'll continue. The roadway will actually continue up into here. It'll connect over to that little bridge. This just kind of wraps up and around to another little flat area that's fairly well lit up here. Then there's the other sides of the mountains. I'll just go up for a quick peek of the view. Smart movement is still enabled. But so this is what's around here. As the mountains continue off to the east. To the southeast, you can see the edge of an ice plains, and to the south you can see a desert and a forest biome over there. To the north, won't be able to run all the way to that nice building location, but that's actually a mountain that has like a plateau in the side of it, and then like 4 arches go up and kind of hold the top of the mountain. So it's a fairly neat looking location. Just run to the end of the peninsula here. So we have a nice set of plains down in here, and it's pretty much surrounded by these mountains. And then this is the same range that goes off to the west or east here. And don't want to get too close to the creeper that was down there. So back over to where it's light, and I have a bed. So this is running the beta 2 preview 25, which is fairly stable. I know that there's a fix coming in for the ooh, there's a skeleton. Ha, there's a stupid skeleton. I have no idea why he's spazzing out so much. So, anyways, the beta 25, there's a fix coming for the forge where we'll be able to create 2 torches in them again, but for now it's use the fire pit if you want to conserve the sticks. I actually have quite a few sticks, so I'm not overly concerned about it. I also have quite a few torches. So this is actually... Ooh, zombie. Let me just make sure he didn't spawn up here. Good. So, this is actually my little foundry area. Come over a nice bright pink ash bridge, and to the left we have our bloomeries. This is actually a set of 3 bloomeries that are sharing this middle wall here, so conserve a little bit on resources. But I did it fairly color coordinated. This is a schist brick. I'm not a real big fan of the schist rock here, but the brick here looks really nice when it has that nice little smooth edge to it and kind of puts the line down. But I put a line of basalt on the bottom and a basalt on the top, so I could just have a little bit more of a definition to it. You'll notice the ones in the center are still green. I just thought that looked neat. And those guys are going to make me paranoid. Burning in the daylight. Yeah, fine. Let them be. I have a little alcove over here. This is where I'll eventually, when I get around to organizing my inventory a little bit more, this is where I'll be holding some more of my ore and such so that I can throw it into the smelter. This is my basic forge setup. I have the forge here. My chimney there, it goes all the way up. And see, yep, even when it's not lit, it'll still bounce me around. So I'll avoid doing that, but that does go all the way up to the air over here. And I just liked how this looked. So I was clearing out a little bit of this place here, and I had a cave-in. I've repaired it with some of the schist that I got for cleaning out of some of this. I mean, this is actually a natural cave here that I just built the entrance over to. But I did have enough schist from, leveling out the ceiling a bit, leveling out the floor, to be able to repair a little bit of a drop here. But then I just, etched in a little bit of a design. I like the archway. It's kind of being held up by that. I've toyed with the idea of putting a vertical support, which I don't think I have on me, vertical support over to here, so it just looks like it's holding up a little bit more. But so it's just the forge, the bellows, and an anvil. I have a couple of metal tools that I was actually made on a forge in that house over there. So that definitely helps ease things out a little bit, as I was constantly stuck in a circle of, well, I need metal, well, I need bricks, well, I need ore, well, I need metal. And I just I had the ore, made the ingots, got a couple of metal tools, something I will be covering not too far into the future here, as I want to get around to doing all this stuff again. Looks like we had another skeleton crash and burn there. Wonder if there's anything left from this guy. Yeah, cool. So if we just go down the road here, this is my makeshift tree farm. Oh, and I figured I should show this. Is one of the new updates. I don't remember which one of the latest 20s, maybe 23 or 22, actually made it to where suspended dirt that has grass on it will crumble if things walk on that, and that does include you. And believe it or not, where I'm walking right here is actually hollow. But I'm doing so without much of a fear here, because I have supports. And the supports have been updated to hold up not only stone and protect it from cave-ins, but also dirt and cobblestone and such. And there is a skeleton. We shall show him the pointy end of an arrow. Oh, he does not like being on fire. And for as good as my aim was on the other skeleton, this guy is showing me up. So we've crossed into a other biome here. Alright, creeper. I know it's mostly hollow here. You are not taking me down with you. Boy. So we've crossed into the other biome here, and then we got a nice sequoia forest here. And that's why I built a place over in that general direction, is I really like the sequoia trees. But just so you see that I'm not joking, is it really is hollow. It's also fairly dark. Most of the dirt has fallen already. There is some over there that is still being held up, but a good portion of this is actually just only 1 block thick. I may come back eventually and add in another layer of blocks or so to try and give myself a little bit more of a leeway, but I'll probably just put it on the top so I don't have to worry about it. But this is just held up by the support stones, or the support structs there. They're made from, actually I can show you real quick. If you put that there, so 2 up and down will get you the vertical supports, and 2 across will get you the horizontal supports. You can make them out of whatever color you want, but they'll be tinted that color as well. These I believe are all willow. Those up there look like ash. So that's just how that's going. I'll do a more practical demonstration. It's amazing how far those things will actually hold with just a couple of supports, so it really opens up some of the neat types of creations. It looked like I had a multi-tiered mushroom earlier when I was actually just putting down a safety net to gather some resources over a cliff edge. So if I walk down here through my wood farm, which just kind of follows the left side of this path here, we will eventually come to a clearing after the end of that. And the reason why we settled here originally is one of the previous world generations of this seed is all of this was basalt. So this was actually a really nice looking dark grass, dark dirt, dark rock all over the place. And the more interesting thing about it is that right here where we have this memorial archway is it used to be basalt down this side and granite down this side. So we had a really nice, black and white. It's like here was the line, and it was just fairly interesting. So as you can see here, this is our livestock pen, and I will just throw down what? I'll throw down the dirt for a bit. We have a fair number of chickens in here, and they drop a fair number of eggs. So just, we come through every now and again. If you see a whole bunch of eggs, gather them up. You can either save them for something later, or like some big egg fest. Or, there's somebody else joining the server. That would be Krakus. So just, we can gather up the eggs and reproduce the chickens fairly regularly, even without wheat. Let me see, 16. It's probably superstition. We've just found the eggs more reliable if you actually aim at something. We usually aim at each other. It doesn't always work out the best. But at least aiming at something is usually pretty good. And wow, 2 misses right in a row. So I'm going to take this out of here as it doesn't really belong. It was here when we built the pen around the top side. And the interesting thing to note is that the pen is actually made to keep other creepies out, not to keep these creepies in. It does help over in this area where it's possible that they could hop up on this ledge because we have a nice little fence gate. But for the most part, it's to make sure that other things do not get into this area. I'm just going to push these guys out of the way. Go through my little... Go through my gate here. So these are the horizontal supports and the vertical supports, and the horizontals are actually what are here in the middle, and then across the top they give us this very nice little peeking window to look down in. If you crouch down a little bit, you can actually look straight across, so it actually is really nice. Um, these are a little finicky. We're slowly learning the mechanics of how to place these things down. Just takes a little bit of time, you know. You're able to reproduce it a little bit over here. Oh. Hello, Bones. Just so you're aware, I am recording an episode of the Spotter's Guide. So, as I was saying, this is just this is more for keeping out the creepers and such. And I'm actually going to do this because we still get creepers every now and again that are able to jump the fence. I mean, it's still going to be possible over in this area, but it's fairly, not well lit, but it's at least lit on that side, so it's not as much of a concern. But I have seen them come down the hills over here and hop on the fence, and then they have no problem taking a dive to try to get to you. So this, oh, there's a cow up on the edge. So this pretty much just keeps the bad guys from getting in, while the livestock is held in just by the normal dirt pen. This is generally how I like to do a livestock pen. It has a nice body of water that they just love to go swimming in. It generally keeps them from climbing the walls. I mean, every now and again you see them over there kind of going up, but overall much more manageable, and it's probably like 90% likely that it's just the large open spaces. We don't let them get too much, even though that looks like a lot of chickens. We've actually had quite a few more in here. So I'm just going to hop on down. Next little section over here. Need to eventually put some roads in to actually connect all this together. This is our wheat farm.
Bones 21
and
sound like you're talking to a crowd and not just one person.
Yeah, you probably didn't hear me, Bones, but I'm actually recording a spotter's guide right now. So I am talking to a crowd. So this is the wheat farm, and all I do for the wheat farms is
oh cool, shout out to Bones.
There we go. All I do for the wheat farm is we found a little body of water. We can't really swim in this. Well, we can swim in it if I feel like it. There we go. Now we're swimming. But you can't really fish in it or anything like that. This is actually the start of a swamp biome that we've kind of clear cut for our first charcoal pit and a little bit of construction. So just a ring around this. Right now I don't believe hydrating of the crops is working, but so this is just a leftover pattern. And the single rows with the spaces in the middle, this wheat actually grows really fast. I'm not going to harvest it right now because my inventory is full. I'd have nowhere to put the stuff, and it would really mess things up trying to resort and all that. So just going to head up in this direction. This is the house of a player named Sinlust. He's actually a fairly good architect, but he's also lucked out and had a ravine for a front yard. And just as creatures and such have been walking across this, more and more of the dirt has fallen as we go over in this direction. More and more of, whoa, that is a block that would actually, no, okay, I'm good. More and more, I'd be able to, it just gets deeper and deeper and such. And we actually pushed a chicken down here, and he's slowly spawning eggs. We toss a couple more down whenever we get a chance to. So maybe eventually this ravine will become full of chickens, just an amusing little thing. But as you can see down here, this is actually a transition. Is up on the top we have the schist stone that has just been in this general area, but the floor is made out of siltstone. So it's just just happens to be a really neat layer effect here with the green stone, or the pale green stone, and then the nice bright orangey red at the bottom there. So got to be careful where you walk out here. And the more we walk, the more it caves in. Every time we get a pile of dirt, oops, don't want to cave in his fire pit. Every time we get a pile of dirt, we start adding it in. And like this cave actually went all the way over to here, and we originally ran into it when we were edging down this area a little bit to make it the too wide so things couldn't hop out. Just going to actually run up the stairs real quick, give you a view of another player's house. It's mostly a little farmhouse right now. These stairs are also very nicely made. Just they wrap up and around. You can actually sprint up them because they are half slabs. So the combination of the oak and the others. So I won't give you a full tour of his house today. I'll probably wait for him to be around so he can probably show it off a little bit. But around the back of his house you have a nice view of another person's construction area. And to the right behind those trees is actually a fairly nice sized wheat field that goes about 3 layers all the way down over to there. It just, the water flows, then goes down, flows, and then goes down and goes over. What you can see here is a charcoal pit that is just very, very oddly made. Um, Technically, you can surround them by any blocks. So Sketchy is the person who owns this little construction over here. He actually wanted to check and see if slabs would work. So you can actually see the blocks because of the slabs, and you can see the wood inside. He just does a little 3x3, 2 rows. He doesn't do the extra row on the bottom. That's why it looks pretty square. The other thing he has going on is just his grass block. I don't know exactly the mythos behind the grass block, but there it is. So, one of the last things I'm going to show before I do a little bit of a run to show where I'm currently constructing is the house you can see in the distance off over there. That's the person who has logged on. That's what he's working on right now. It's a work in progress, but it's progressed. Ow. I'm going to break my ankles doing that. It's progressed further along than most of my houses so far yet. I try to keep the form and functionality together. Like I have the nice little arc or walkway underneath the edge of the cliff there. That's pretty nice. But most of the things that I've actually constructed are still focused on the functionality that I need. Like I have the bloomeries, I have the forge and such like that. This house is a combination of everything. Oh, there he is. And I'm going to try to avoid the creeper. Yeah, I see the creeper. I'm trying to move over. Got me a bow. I can hunt him down. It's just the one wandering around over here, right? Alrighty. I won't worry about getting too close to the house as I walk on by then. Pick up a little XP. I recently suffered many falling deaths. You'll see in a little bit as to why. So, for those who have seen some of my other videos, like the specifically the Robbie house, you'll have noticed that I did a quick little shot of my brother's house, who that is right over there. And this is a reconstruction in TFCraft, trying to reimagine the materials and stuff like that and the different layouts, and just showing the different combinations and possibilities of what you can do with TFCraft with the different rocks and such. So it looks like a nice little marble there. It's very bright. Maybe some rock salt or granite here. And the lower levels, I believe... what is the lower levels? Is that schist? Yeah. So, nice little caving out there. And I'm sure as time progresses and that gets more complete, we'll do another little tour in and around there. But just because of all of the... Ooh, creeper. Just because of all of the sequoias and stuff and just loving that and get potential for a nice view, is I'm actually building up there. Marble, schist, shale, that was the other dark stone that I couldn't place. Oh, no shale yet? Marble, huh, I wonder what the other dark stone was. So, I'm gonna just work my way up here. Smart moving once again is very, very handy. Although you'll probably watch me fall a couple of times. Your forge looked like it was made out of schist, if I was looking at it right. Oh, oh. Oh, bastard, skeleton sniping me from afar. What I don't need it to do is knock me off. I'd rather take an arrow to the knee. Ha 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 ha. I would not be surprised if a whole bunch of people unsubscribed just because of that. I'd rather take the arrows and a bit of damage as opposed to actually falling. I actually have some fairly rare materials on me right now, and I don't want to lose them as I want to use them in the construction of the house up here. And that's how many missed me. Nice. So this is, I believe, the jump that I made impossible. That was probably not a good idea. As luck would have it, one yellow flower later. Jump up here, jump up there. There will eventually be a much easier way to get up here than this, but for now I'm more interested in actually constructing the area. So this is an area, it was a little boxy. There was like a little box that went down to that trees level about in this area. I trimmed down some higher walls that went around and around, and I've kind of flattened things out. And I'll be building a bit of a log cabin up here that I'm currently in the process of mapping out with these torches here. So I need to take back this wall a little bit again, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should match up as it does with that. So it's a 15 by 13 house, and then it's going to have a balcony that will actually hang off the edge, wrapping around here from the front and around to the side and back here. It also currently has planned a bit of a back balcony here, so I'm thinking I'm actually going to be rounding the hill off a little bit here. But I don't like chopping down sequoias, since they can't regrow. I really do want those to be left alone as much as possible. Unfortunately, there was a 4x4 sequoia in about this area, even though it was actually up here. It was part of the hill that I had to level out, otherwise I would have tried to have built around it. But so those are the materials that I'm actually don't want to lose, is I loathe having to get this. I don't want to turn it into charcoal, so I immediately made it into planks, but this is all of the sequoia that I'll probably ever get. And that zombie is just going to drive me nuts. There we go. There's a chicken down there stuck in the leaves. It's fairly handy. So I'll be building a little bit of a house up here. I actually hope to show you guys that house for the next video. But I wanted to say that I am recording again. I am going to... Whoa! Whoa! Poke. Poke. There we go. That was a creeper surprise. So I am recording the updated series. I'm going to start calling this Season 2 and moving forward, so it'll match the whole entire format that I mentioned about last time and such. And we'll just see how we go from there. I can actually view the construction of the house from up above. And probably do like a time lapse or something like this over here. What I don't have right now is any more than a basic floor plan. I've just been looking on Google for, cabin houses and small cabin houses and stuff like that, and just kind of going from their designs, putting it down on graph paper, getting a basic size and such. And it's going to require quite a bit of wood, it's going to require quite a bit of glass, but overall I should be able to take advantage of this really nice view. So I'll actually be able to, see the sunrises, most of the sunsets and such like that. I'm not going to actually trim down that mountain, I don't think. Maybe I will. Leave the giant tall sequoias just for the nice little contrast and such. But so, this will be the world. Even when it's going through a world regen, I'll be using this seed, so everything, as long as the algorithms for generation don't change too much, everything will look fairly similar, but the materials might change all randomly again, depending on any of the forthcoming updates and such. Really looking forward to the agriculture. I'll be getting into what the scythe here does, or the seath, or the scythe, or whatever else you want to call it. I just call them scythe. Also covering again the javelins, and just still hitting all the basic principles of what you want to do, but I've sort of jumped over what to do for day one. So hopefully there's enough of that in the other videos where we'll be able to refer back to it, and nobody will hate me too much for skipping, not recording that initial venture into Minecraft. And so on that, I am going to see you guys next time. Leave anything in the comments if there's something that you've seen that you want me to cover a little bit more in detail and such on here. Otherwise, looking forward to doing some more metallurgy, smithing, crafting, show you the basic tools for the different, or the basic tools, show you the basic recipes for some of the other starting tools. A tin saw is actually how I got that one tree to chop into so much sequoia. The tin chisel is how you get all the bricks and stuff like that. So a lot of this stuff I hope people know. We're going to be covering some of the changes that have happened. If you keep up with the changelog, you'll see that in the last couple of days it's been over like a page and a half of different changes and such. And we will be getting to most of them in the near future. So, have a good one.